May the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be delightful in your sight, O Lord, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. Well, it was the first Palm Sunday. Jesus approached Jerusalem knowing pretty much what he was going to find there. Fickle followers and treacherous crowds, compromised religious leaders, a death that would also be a coronation, a resurrection that would vindicate not just himself but God and the human race. He knew this was a decisive moment. The King entering the holy city to claim his throne. So he didn't make it up as he went along. He prepared, and he took his cue from Scripture. Maybe not the first place we would look, but he turned to the book of Zechariah. Rejoice greatly, O daughter Zion. Shout aloud, O daughter Jerusalem. See, your king comes to you, humble and riding on a donkey. In this verse, the heartbreaking story of failed leadership in Israel, and not just Israel, but the failure of all human leadership. In this verse, it comes to its prophetic climax. A king on a donkey. Earlier, Ezekiel had said, I know your leaders are corrupt. They are shepherds who devour their sheep. But a day will come when a true shepherd will appear, a shepherd who will tenderly care for the sheep. And that shepherd will be God, your God who chose you, your God who has always loved you. Your God will be your shepherd. And then Jesus arrived and said, I am the good shepherd, and proceeded to feed the sheep, and to gather, and to heal, and to give hope. And now here he is approaching Jerusalem, the humble king riding on a donkey, the king who came to serve the people and not to exploit them. In Roman times, when an emperor entered a town in a splendid chariot, he commanded all of the residents to line up along the road for a mile or so before the entrance of the city. He'd have them bow to him and look as though they loved him. And probably some of them did get caught up in the emotion and the spectacle, but on the whole it was a staged affair. It was forced. The emperor demanded a display of love and loyalty, and there would be consequences if he didn't get it. And it wasn't just the emperor himself, but his representatives and his army. The army that would have had a strong presence in Jerusalem at that time around Passover. They all demanded displays of loyalty, or at least displays of fear. So what a contrast Jesus must have been. No chariot, no sword, no splendor, just a donkey. No demand for submission, just spontaneous spreading of palm branches and authentic cries of Hosanna. The humble king had arrived to serve the people and not to exploit them. But notice what humility looks like on Jesus. It didn't look like pretending to be less than he was. By deliberately enacting this prophecy from Zechariah, he is declaring himself to be the king in language that every devout Jew would understand. See, your king comes to you riding on a donkey. He isn't pretending to be less than he is, but he is refusing to use his power to coerce or demand submission. And as we enter Holy Week this year, We follow in the footsteps of that donkey. This is a Holy Week like none any of us have ever experienced. No palm procession today. On Thursday, we will not be able to wash each other's feet. On Friday, we will not be able to gather, not physically anyway, under the shadow of the cross. And for me, the hardest thing, on Sunday, I will not be able to look into your eyes and say the words, "He is risen." And I will not hear you respond, "He is risen indeed." We will be staying home, keeping our distance, praying with family and talking on the telephone to people who we would love to hold. As individuals and as the church, we have been asked to lay aside our rites and our rituals and to modify our relationships in order to keep vulnerable people safe. This Easter season, we have been called to die to self so that others might live. And what could be more appropriate than that for followers of Jesus Christ? We move into Holy Week not in a chariot but on a donkey. But we also remember that Palm Sunday is not the end. Good Friday is not the end. The reading from Philippians reminds us of the pattern we see throughout Scripture, a pattern you might have noticed in your own spiritual life. Jesus humbled himself. Therefore, God highly exalted him. We all know the proverb, pride comes before a fall. That is true, but there is another pattern, a deeper magic, as Aslan would say. Humility comes before glory. Good Friday comes before Easter Sunday. We have been called to an extended and unknown period of self-sacrifice, of grieving for the life we took for granted a month ago, and uncertainty about what life will look like when all this is over. We don't know how long it will last, but we do know that it will not last forever. There will be resurrection. There will be renewal. So take hope, take courage, and take shelter. A new day will dawn. Our God, who comes to us riding on a donkey, will keep meeting us in unexpected places and in unusual costumes. So wherever you are today, and wherever you will be tomorrow, the Lord be with you. Amen.